Learning from mistakes and successes. I'm just going to read a couple of very simple, deliberately compared incidents with variations on the same disease. In 1918, March 4th, at Fort Riley U.S. military facility, company cook Albert Mitchell reported sick as the first recorded victim of the 2-year-long Spanish flu. A quarter of the world's population got sick, and at least 17 million people died worldwide. People are comparing the current coronavirus, this is one of them, this is one of many coronaviruses, but the current coronavirus to this. I really hope that's a bad comparison. The 9th of March 2009, it returned. A 5-year-old boy in La Gloria, Veracruz, Mexico, got sick as the first victim of a 19-month-long, not full 2 years, swine flu. It's called the swine flu for the same reason, incorrect reason that we called the Spanish flu the Spanish flu. I'll explain that in a minute. This swine flu, it probably is based on that sort of transfer, infected a fifth of the population and had 100,000 die. In the case of the infection happening in 1918, censorship of information led to people associating the disease with Spain. That's not where it started. No one really knows where it started exactly. In fact, no one ever will know, simply because it probably was running around in a quasi-dormant but high-spreading condition state until it started getting spread by literally the war itself causing people to go from one area to another and spreading it. Really cramped conditions, which is traditionally how you do this sort of thing for military units. And this guy was a cook, had a base that was sending people overseas. The kid in Mexico getting sick, and then I very much remember what this did to me. The description of the symptoms I'm like having recurring nightmares about. One of the things about this particular variety of virus is that it doesn't necessarily target people who are really young or really old. It can target people in the prime of their life, which is what it did in both cases. It's the same virus, or a very close relative to it. And I'm just going to leave a link to the Wikipedia article because it does show the attempt to figure out where the hell it came from. And it shows cross-straining between viruses that are genetically similar enough between several different animals. Birds, people, pigs, whatever. Avian flu, swine flu, everything like that. And them essentially using one or another of the animals as a place for them to exchange information and ending up it being almost exclusively human transferred. Probably in both cases. In the case of it going through like a buzzsaw and killing 17 million in the 1918 period of time for 2 years, this disease was probably sitting around as a normal seasonal flu. The starting point at that point officially is March. But these things usually go from January to March, sometimes December to March. The current one we're dealing with started off December, probably earlier than December, but we won't know until after the fact. And in the case of the swine flu in 2009 that did a huge amount of damage, it started technically in March, but really it went on from a pronounced effect that we know about later. But it went on for about 19 months from that first case. And that's backtracking. They literally did tracing back to the first person who got sick. And you can read all the stories you want to about it. What was done, according to people who were there at the time in 1918, is many countries just did basically what we're doing now. They closed down every public environment possible to keep it from spreading, because even back then, everybody understood it transfers from people being around each other. And if you just shut everything down, maybe it won't transfer. Or they shut everything down because everybody was sick and couldn't get anything done. I just thought I'd bring it up because the parallels between the two seem kind of loose and rough, but between the two of them in 2009, the majority of people, I mean, a huge number of people died from this, according to this. This is worldwide, not just one country. And now we're looking at a virus that we have not panicked exactly, but we didn't do the right kind of panic originally. And we're going to be dealing with this. Suddenly, the idea of it taking more than a month for lockdown to go away seems very likely. I'm genuinely, I have no clue what's going to happen. That frightens me, just like it frightens everybody else. And when we look at the past here, we see that you can look at the progression of it, kind of, but in the 2009 one, you can see the map doesn't look much different than what we're dealing with now. So take that for what you wish. I just wanted to point out that comparisons with this particular disease, with the swine, not the swine flu, but the one that happened in 1918, the so-called Spanish flu, I hope it's a very bad comparison. That's all I got to say. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with all of that.